Hi guys, Rumblysuperset here, back again, this time doing an analyzing loss video. So it looks like we're going with a Skye, a Samuel, and a Finn on our side against a Vox, Lance, and an Alpha. So this is a ranked match in which we actually lost, hence analyzing a loss. Spoiler alert! I mean, you click on the video and you already know I'm gonna lose because it's analyzing a loss. But anyways, so we are going to be going the weapon power, it looks like. I'm just going to kind of watch this video. I don't really remember it too much, but I'm going to be analyzing it as I go, kind of seeing what I see at the time. But yeah, so again, we have the CP Samuel, we have a weapon power Skye, myself, as well as Eddie on Finn. If I remember correctly, we did actually do fairly decent assists. There were some misplays here and there mid to late game, and it cost us the match. There we go. Getting the farm, getting the same rotations as always. You always want to have the roamer, depending on which roamer it is. If it's like a Finn or Lance, generally they go to the bottom two, while the jungler hits the top, and he goes ahead and takes that one out himself, and then comes down and clears off the bottoms that the roam was doing damage to. Otherwise, a lot of times you'll assist your jungler with a few hits on the first regen, and then go down to the bots. But here we are. We didn't really want to fight. The Lance is pretty threatening in my opinion, and I didn't want to deal with that. Here's where we actually decided we're going to get the minions, fall back, port immediately, because we get our items, and then we can immediately go back to jungle, and by the time we get there, that's when they'll come up. So it's just cost effective as far as time wise. Eddie does rotate up to lane though, it looks like, potentially trying to get more gold farm from the ambient gold, but he ran into the Alpha and the Vox, and probably the Lance as well. So that was very unfortunate. But I do get my backs. They are fairly secured. I don't know if I'm going to get this regen coming up here, because they are in position to take it, but maybe I'll get there in time. I'm not sure. Let's check it out. Yeah, it looks like the Alpha is, in fact, getting it. And now I'm in a position where I should not be, because of the fact that now Vox can just rotate down, or Alpha will just take me out. Yeah, so first mistake. I tried to get the regen when I knew that they were going to probably grab it, and I got myself in a bad position. You don't want to do that. You want to just, in that situation, just fall back either to, the shop if you need to, or go to lane and get ambient gold. It would have been more safer. It would have been safer and more effective in the long run, because this is slowly getting the enemy team in the position to win, because they're getting a gold lead, as not just from the minions, but the kills. But here we are, clearing the same rotation once again. A lot of times you want to make sure you do your lock on your passive from Skye to do optimal damage from your forward barrage. Keep that in mind. You don't want to just use it. You want to use your passive first and then use it. It does more damage that way. So just a little bit of tidbit of information there. Alpha did miss the A there, so that's looking good. Although I am a little in a position where I may not want to fight this. Alpha is a pretty good counter to Skye, in my opinion. Simply because you can burst the Alpha down, but she is sticky, so she's going to be doing damage to you at the same time, and then going to reboot, and you're already depleted of health and energy, and she's going back into full health from reboot. Or not full health, but a sizable amount of health, and just going to pick you off. The draft actually went in their favor, I feel, because they have that Lance, they have the Vox, they have the Alpha, and the Alpha counters me, the Lance also counters me, while also countering the Samuel, and as well as the Vox being able to do that resonance damage. I wouldn't say Vox counters Samuel, but he definitely isn't someone that is who is a pushover against a Samuel, if he's going CP, that is. And even weapon power. Weapon power can be really good with the Breaking Point double tyrants. I don't know the effectiveness nowadays, because they've changed Breaking Point to be more effective on melee than range. But here we are. I'm rotating up the lane. I know there's a lot of pressure, so I'm trying to do some damage here. But we are now getting really aggressive, and are going to get the one kill. But now we're taking some pretty nasty hits. We are going to actually try to engage on this and get the kill on Lance. And we're not going to survive, though. Alpha does take us out. So I don't know if that situation would have been best if I had left it alone and just backed out. But it is a 2-for-2, so it wasn't all that bad. Alpha did survive, though, so that is the potential for Alpha to come to my jungle and take my farm. So overall, I think it was a loss. of a fight. Maybe I should have just backed out and got my farm. Alpha has, like I said, the potential to now just rotate into my jungle, taking my second regen and the fronts. I don't know if she does. Like I said, I'm watching this as you guys watch it. But yeah, so here we go. Getting that backs again, checking the regen to make sure it's there. Samuel is rotated down. The regen is up, so luckily Alpha did not rotate. If that was the Alpha, I probably would have tried to, but a lot of times, you know, you can get a little timid or a little bit paranoid of respawn times, and you just don't push the jungle creeps. So I generally try to grab the minion mine whenever it is up. A lot of times I find myself more preoccupied with other things, so I don't get it. But if I'm not really doing anything and I need the gold, 150 gold, I definitely get it. Especially if I'm a little bit behind, given that the extra strength in lane as well as the extra gold can be a little bit of an extra nudge for me as a jungler and for the laner too, who's getting a lot of pressure. Here we go. I am going to the double Tyrant's Breaking Point build. I still find it's really effective. It's not as effective as it used to be, obviously, but it's still pretty strong. But again, I'm having trouble working against the Alpha just because she has so much survivability against me and can be quite sticky if it's a well-versed Alpha and knows how to aim her abilities. So there we go. Lane is still being pressured, so Eddie's going to stay in lane and kind of just babysit that. It's pretty standard too, but here we are. They're coming back up. I am kind of in a position where it's like not too bad. I didn't land my ultimate though, but I am getting a lot of hits off. Alpha does do her, what is it, the ultimate? I don't know what the ultimate's called, but we do pick up the Alpha, so that's great. And now the resonance from the Vox is hurting quite a bit, but we do manage to not pick up the... Okay, do we? Oh, no, we got it. But Lance is going to try to kill me. I'm going to survive, maybe. Yes, I am. That was a little bit of a nasty play by me. I did not get some of my... I don't know if it was my basic attack or my ability. No, I missed my A. That's what it was. I missed my forward barrage on Vox, thinking I can trail him in the direction he thought he was going, but he was not. And so that really sucked. I could have got the Vox, could have had a little bit more health to deal with the Lance, but because I messed it up... oh, God. That scared me. Oh, and then the Alpha comes out. I should have just backed out. I should have just backed out of that situation. I was so low. I was just going to shop. So what's the point of going down and taking the risk of being low when I can just port and do the same thing and do it safely? So that kind of was a bad call on my part. Again, I'm not perfect. No one is perfect, especially me. I do lose and I do make mistakes left and right. On a normal occasion, I have a lot of good games and I have a lot of bad games, and that's why we're kind of here analyzing the things I do and maybe hoping we can improve upon it. So now I'm going to lane. I know they took my farm, so now I'm going to lane to take the ambient gold and potentially get the kill on the Vox, because that would be awesome. So there we go. I'm not CP, so a lot of times a CP Skye would have just Surrey striked and did the damage there, but because I am weapon power, I'm super reliant on my basic attacks, while my A and my B is just for additional damage or poke. It's not my primary damage. Like I said, basic attacks are key for weapon power Skye. The A again is just there for that little extra range if we need to kind of kite around or whatever it may be from a far distance. We do get that ultimate off on the Alpha, but the ultimate is actually not going to go off on me. We're doing pretty good right now. Getting that damage out on the Alpha. Took out the Alpha and are pursuing the Lance. And we're going to go ahead and not pick it up. Oh my god, so close. And he got the grab. And now we're going to go ahead and dive on this Vox because he's pretty much dead. We do survive. I think Eddie is going to survive. Yes, we do. We take out the turret. So that was a great play. That was a great dive in my opinion. Great pull by Eddie. That play actually ended up being really great for us. I didn't see much issues with it. And everybody kind of did their part and did good. So that actually got us probably on equal footing at this point, maybe even a little bit of ahead because we did get the turret gold. 300 gold apiece can be a lot. That's 900 gold for the team. At that point, we may have should have just gone down and got the minion mine, or not the minion mine, the gold mine. But now it's a little too late. If we were to get it, then it would be at risk because they can come and steal it and also have us be vulnerable from taking damage from it or just being lower than them in general. Alright, so now we're going to go to our backs, take that. Eddie is trying to stick around in case they're trying to take the gold mine because they know that we rotated. They are actually going for that gold mine too, it looks like. But they may have backed off. Yeah. I think the presence of Eddie kind of threw them off thinking that maybe we were in position to even gank them. So that was great. A lot of times, if you think they're going to take the gold mine, you want to have some sort of vision or a presence there to kind of thwart them from taking it. Especially if, you know, it's like basically throwing a bluff. It's like, hey, we see you doing it. We're going to attack you if you do. And they didn't call our bluff, and that was good for us. I constantly try to land my ultimates on the alpha because I know she's going to be sticky. So I need to get those stuns off. I'm missing a couple of my A's, though, which is not great. That's another issue I'm having this match, is just landing my abilities. Granted, my A doesn't do as much damage as the CP version. But once you start getting crit and weapon power built up on Skye, the A actually does some decent damage. You're still going to want to focus on your basic attacks for weapon power Skye. But the A does some sizable damage in certain situations where it'd be better to do that than basic attacks. Like range poke, or if you're Atlas Bulging. Here's a great tip for Skye weapon power. So a lot of people who see a Skye weapon power know you're going to go Breaking Point, Double Tyrants, at least back in the day. I don't know if it's still as common. I think, excuse me, I think it is. But people, what they do is they buy Atlas Bulging. So they'll Atlas the Skye. Well, lucky for you, your A has weapon power ratios, and your Serious Strike resets your A. So what you do when you're Atlas Bulging, if you know you're going to be Atlas Bulging and you see it, just use your A and your B and your ultimate. And you can do a lot of damage while Atlas Bulging. People like Vox, who is super reliant on basic attacks, even when using his abilities, is very hampered by the Atlas Bulging, whereas Skye is not. Not as much, at least, I should say. Saw is the worst when it comes to being Atlas Bulging. He sucks without the attack speed. Skye has some leeway there. All right, looks like we're in position to maybe attack. I'm trying. Oh, that was bad control on my part. But we are getting a lot of damage on this Vox. Oh my god, so much damage. Didn't get the A or the ultimate from the Samuel off, but we are doing a lot of damage. Did not get the stun, but we are missing our A again, but we are getting our basic attacks at least. This fight is turning really, really great in our favor. The alpha is going to go down, and I'm going to try to poke as much as I can to get this, and we do get it. So there we go. We took a couple turret shots, but what is with my A control here? So you can clearly see what I'm messing up with is my ability control, my skill shot. It's not working for me, but luckily the fights are working for me. So I truly feel like at this point we have a lead. We have the goal lead because we have two turrets. We have, yeah, we're just gonna let Ben die here. I could go in and potentially do a lot of damage, but get out! Oh God, I'm lagging. Yeah, that was weird. So there's another issue. I should have left. I should have let him die. I can hear him right now because this is recorded. I can hear him saying, you know, you should just let me die. And I should have. I should have just walked away, knowing I was low. They had far more life, far more, you know, sustain or energy, whatever you want to call it. And the fact of the matter was, at some point, I got stuck. I was stuttering, and that didn't help. But it didn't matter anyways. Even if I wasn't, I probably would have died. So, fact of the matter is, I should have got out. Alright, so I am level 12, so infusions are at the most effective point. So we do grab an infusion. I want to fight. I want to press back. We did lose that last engagement there with Samuel and myself, so I wanted to show our dominance, so I grabbed the infusion to make sure that they know that I'm going to do a buttload of damage. And I want to put these fights in our favor as much as I can. So, like I said, I'm ready to fight. We're looking for a fight. Eddie's rotating around, trying to find them, find their position so we can go ahead and start this fight. And while we're doing this, I'm taking as much farm as I can from the junglers. But yeah, so here we go. Going to lane in case maybe Eddie has more gold than me, which he does not. But the off chance that maybe I'll get some ambient gold. And also, I want to stick with my team right now because we're looking for a fight. We want to stick as a group. A lot of times, people, what they do is that someone will, this is for lower tiers, higher tiers don't generally do this, but for lower tiers, they're like, oh, I'm going to infuse because I'm ready to fight. Well, then your team doesn't group up and gets caught out, and so you're infused left to fight a 1v3 or 1v2, whatever it may be, and you lose and you waste that infusion. If you're going to infuse, you want to stick as a group. If you're going to infuse, that means you're doing a group fight, not an individual fight. The only time you would infuse in desperate situations, and it's just you, is if they're pushing your base. It's like, well, I might as well just pull every stop I can. I'm going to infuse, even though it's a 1v3, to see if maybe I can make magic happen. That'd be the only situation. Otherwise, if you are out in the map, you want to stay as a group if you're going to be infused, because that makes it most effective, because you don't want to get your team caught out and have you just waste that. Here we are. Just, we got our breaking point. We got our tyrants. We're working towards, what the frick are we working towards? We have a heavy steel, heavy blade, whatever you want to call it, heavy steel. I think I messed up. Oh, yeah. So here's another. I messed up my build order. I accidentally bought the wrong weapon power item. I can hear myself talking about it. That's like, dude, guys, like I misbought. They're like, well, it's okay. We're in the lead anyways. But all right, so here we are getting in position to push. Again, staying as a group. At this point, it's mid-game, so respawn times are long. We don't want to get caught out. We want to stay as a group as much as possible, not overextend. You can see here, I want to look, but I don't want to push inwards because my team's not there. But here we go. It looks like the enemy team is turtling. They are not ready to fight for us, at least not without their base, their turrets. But here we are. We got the alpha, looking for a great pull by Eddie. Trying to throw out the ultimate, but I did get the stun, I think, from the Githian wall. But we do actually manage to get the alpha in there somehow. We are not getting the basic attacks on alpha, though. That's unfortunate. I don't know if I was Atlas Explosion or what, but unfortunately, we did not get the ability to take her out earlier. But regardless, we still took her out. The breaking points tyrants with the heavy steel and the minions foot is actually doing pretty good. Even though I'm going to be selling that heavy steel and going into a 6 sins to build into the tyrants, because usually I don't build a heavy steel after this point. It was an accident. It seems to be doing well regardless. So we're 10-4 and 3, 97 farm. We're doing really well, and so I'm pretty happy about that. We are trying to just take as much farm as we can. Probably try to heal up too and get the infusions refreshed. Because we want to continue to press on. We are a little bit low, though, so I'm going to be looking not so hot right now. But let's see. What are we going to do here? So they're right there. So there he is. There's an infusion. Alpha goes in. I'm trying to control as much as I can, and we are going to be taking a lot of pop shots from the Vox, though, which is not great. And I do get caught out. I think this is the beginning of where it starts to go downhill. This fight is great for them because we were in the lead for a very long time. So they're going to get a lot of the bounty gold and get themselves in a position to fight back on equal footing again. Eddie does take out the Lance and is really close to taking out the Vox, but just can't quite get it. And Bentham died by the Alpha. So therefore now Eddie dies by the 2. And the fight did not end in any favor for us, except we did get the Lance, but that doesn't help us because now they're going to get potentially a Kraken, they can get turrets, they can get all our farm and jungle, or at least not all of it, but a lot of it. So it looks like what they're doing is they're going to go for the turret and the farm. The reason being they probably didn't go Kraken is because they probably saw my respawn timer and saw that it wasn't that high. Here's another fight too against the Vox. The Vox actually does, in fact, take me out, but I take him out too. Keep in mind that the Vox is, in fact, weapon power. So, looks like the Alpha is CP. So that's where that kind of sucked because I didn't have any defense against the Vox. So I actually won against the Vox with me having no defense against him and him having defense against me, I believe. Oh, no, he did not. So that fight actually ended up being even because he did not have any defense against me, and neither did he, or neither did I against he. That sentence is weird. And we have similar items too. So that fight couldn't have been any more even. So what am I looking at buying? So like I'm trying to hold off from selling the heavy steel because if I can't even buy the Tyrant's Monocle yet, there's no point in selling the heavy steel. So I'm holding on to it for now. All right, so looks like everybody's trying to get in position to push lane. We want to be near Kraken too in case they try to take it, but then here we are looking for a fight. Everybody is trying to find the position to go. Eddie can't quite find it. Lance might just initiate with an impale but looks like he is going to back off. He's flaring left and right as well as Eddie to make sure no one's going to get surprised here. We want to reinfuse because we want that fresh and ready to go for the next fight. Because a lot of these fights can dictate where the game's going to go because it's so late in the game now that spawns are going to be really long. But we are getting a lot of stacks here. Here's another fight where we're getting a lot of damage done to us. Alpha is sticking to me and not quite going to stay with me. And we do get the kill on the Vox. Here's where I was like questioning, how the heck did Alpha know I was there? Was there a scout trap or something? I don't get that one. That one was a little bit crazy how he was able to either coincidentally try to escape and hit me instead, or just was really good at anticipating where I was going, or they had vision somewhere in there that I did not see. So that was very unfortunate. Yeah, see, I'm pinging, or he's pinging because he's like, what was in there? Like, where was the scout trap? We don't see a scout trap. You walked in there, nothing went off. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know how he knew I was there. But what I was trying to do was I was trying to flank and get the Alpha. Because I had a little bit of stacks, and I wanted to just do that little poke because I was hoping that I can surprise him and take out the kill. But unfortunately, like I said, it's either Alpha got really lucky with her A or knew where I was. I can't tell you which one it was. So we were doing really, really well in the beginning. It's just now, like I said, it's starting to fall off. I'm trying to figure out what's the gold difference right now between selling the heavy steel and getting the gold I need for Tyrant's Monocle. And we're going to go ahead and sell it because it is pretty close. We're going to wait for that double Tyrants because that's going to be really substantial for us to have that extra crit damage as well as crit chance being basically 100%. But yeah, there we go. Right now, we're trying to figure out where we're going to go as far as who we're going to grab, who we're going to focus. I kept telling him we need to focus the Vox because he's doing a lot of damage to us. He is breaking point, double Tyrants as well. So the damage he's putting out is crazy. We do get the Alpha pinned in our ultimate, but the Alpha does survive. Gets the ultimate off on Bentim, but Bentim does survive. The renewal does go out. Kind of didn't really need it, but that's fine. We are going to try to see if we can keep up with these people. I got the hits on the Vox. We're going to go ahead and take them out. Take out the Lance as well, and then we're going to go ahead and go for the Kraken. So that fight actually ended up being in our favor. What I did there is I used the Lance to use my Serious Strike to get over to Vox. I missed my A again, which I shouldn't have even used. I should have just kept doing basic attacks. But it was, you know, the heat of the moment where I was like, what do I do? But yeah, there we go. We do have the double Tyrants. So now we're looking at what should we build next. And I'm like, you know what? Let me get defense against the Vox. So I'm going to go ahead and build towards that metal jacket because that's super important because if he does get a hold on me, he's going to win because now he has defense against me and I do not have any against him. So he should theoretically win that fight. Good call by Eddie. Eddie was like, yeah, you need to get defense against that box. And I was like, yeah, good call. And so I got the whatever you call it, the metal plate or heavy plates. I don't know what it's called. The precursor to metal jacket. Tier 2 precursor. All right, so this is the fight of the century. We're like on equal footing, it looks like, as far as turrets. They have one more turret on us, but I think everybody's full build, almost. Everybody's kind of sitting on the same level. The gold difference might be different, but I think overall the power, it doesn't really matter anymore. It's all about who has better positioning, who has better plays. But we are on their side, so the fight can be not as beneficial as if we caught them out, because a lot of times they can just run back and heal up and then turn it around on us. So we don't want to really engage there. We want to make sure we can catch them out. And Kraken should be coming up in a little bit too, in a couple minutes or so. So once that pops, then that pretty much means the next fight is done deal. But we are getting some hits off on the Alpha. That's good. She did Atlas. She did get me, though. So I cannot do much. I'm going to be taking a lot of damage. I got Atlas once again, so I'm using my A instead. Atlas is now down. We're trying to... Oh, and the Alpha did get me. So that kind of sucks because what happens now is that they have their breaking point double Tyrants hero still up, which is Vox. Building those stacks, doing tons of damage, whereas ours went down, which is myself. Now it's pretty much a game right here. They're going to go ahead and take out Bentim. They can probably just push for win, which I'm pretty sure is what they're going to do. If they get Kraken, they're just wasting time. Yeah, they're just pushing. So unfortunately, the alpha stuck to me. What I should have done is, if I had it up, I don't know, which I probably did, is I should have used the targeting passive and then Surrey Strike over to my teammates once again to potentially have the ability for him to use a renewal or use a crucible or do something to peel for me or just keep me alive. And so it kind of sucked that happened, but that is game. Like I said, there was a couple plays where I could have done better with positioning, could have done better with using my abilities, or just, you know, choosing my targets better. I guess that kind of falls into positioning a bit. But here we are at the end of the end of the match with the defeats. We gave everybody a thumbs up because it was a great game. I'm obviously a little tilted because I don't even show a score. But there we go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed a little bit of an educational type of stream. And I've definitely learned a little bit of what I do and should not do as far as the match or just playing Weapon Power Skye. So let's kind of just list them. So positioning was a little off this match. Skill shots were a bit off this match. Itemization actually was a little bit off too. I did get the Aegis against the Alpha, but the fact I didn't have Metal Jacket against a Breaking Point Double Tyrant Vox didn't make it any easier, and I should have prioritized a bit more in that because I was already doing good damage. I think a matter of survivability was the issue at that point. And what else was there? I don't know. I feel like maybe a bit of team coordination, not necessarily entirely my fault. I think a lot of us kind of just did not work good together near the end there. We were kind of like off doing our own thing because what happens is a lot of times we get a focus on one of us, and what we'll do is that, okay, there'll be two. There'll be Eddie and like Bentim off fighting off the Vox and the Lance, and then they're falling back a certain direction. And what I end up doing, for instance, would be like, okay, Alpha's on me, so I'm falling back the opposite direction as my team. So even if I wanted to survive through my teammates popping a renewal or a crucible, they couldn't because I'm not in range. So what I needed to do, like I said, was use a targeting, use Series Strike over the Alpha to get back to my team, or vice versa, have Bentim use his maneuverability to get over to me, along with Eddie, and keep the group together. But unfortunately, we did not do that. And like I said, it's a team effort, and unfortunately, it didn't work out. We've had matches where it did. Obviously, we play a bit together, and we do pretty good. But we have matches like this where we have to sit back and kind of think about what we did good and what we didn't do good. And again, hopefully you guys found this very educational and kind of funny to watch me get wrecked a bit. I know I'm a nub sometimes, a lot of times. But I want to show you guys that I am human. I want to show you guys that I post losses. It just depends on the type of quality of the video. If it's a close match, I'll post it. If it is complete obliteration on my part, then I probably won't post it because there's no need for that. I don't want to make myself look so bad on a consistent basis that people don't even want to watch me anymore. You know, it's like this guy sucks. All he posts is the losses. I want to show you guys matches that are fun. Show you matches that are, even if it's a loss, that it's educational. Something that has has more of a deeper meaning rather than just showing a loss. That's why I do these analyzing a loss videos for you guys from time to time, and also upload just losses in general from time to time. But yeah, again, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Later.